from his studios in New York, it's time for Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Here's your host, Dan Tortora.
Welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. Happy Halloween. This is the Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora Halloween special, and I am more than happy to have you on the broadcast this morning. And we're starting a little bit here after 9, and we thank you so much for tuning in to the show, and thank you for being here, and thank you for being a part of everything. Thank you for all the support over the last 15 years. If you're new to listening to the show, then welcome here for the first time. If you've been listening for 15 years, shout out to you. If you've been listening for the last 2 years, 5 years, whatever it may be, thank you all for your support. You can find Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora 24/7 on wakeupcalldt.com. You can also find Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, on Twitter at Call DT, and on Instagram at WakeUpCall_DT. So welcome into the show. God bless you, and much appreciation goes out to each and every single one of you. Happy Halloween in this wonderful Halloween special. We have a lot to get into today. We're going to start off with my question to Dino Babers following the 6-2 start and becoming bowl eligible. We'll go on from there to have the Syracuse Stallions on the show, and I'm ecstatic to have the Stallions on the show. You're going to hear in this order from Chris Gilkes, Lloyd Parkmond, and DaJuan Coleman, coming off of the team's first ever game in the history of bringing pro basketball back to Syracuse. You'll hear from these three gentlemen. They won in that game, and they're ranked in the top 25, so you'll hear from each of them in the first hour, and then we'll move on from there to a very special live conversation that we just found out this morning we're going to have with Dave Klein, the CNS North Stars football head coach, as they get ready for their Section 3 championship against West Jenny. You heard from Joe Corley yesterday. You'll hear from Dave Klein today. And then in the second hour of the show, repping the Power 6, you'll hear from every single coach of the American Athletic Conference, including East Carolina, UConn, Tulane, Tulsa, Navy, Memphis, SMU, Temple, USF, Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF. All of the coaches will be on the show today in a very awesome Halloween special. So, with that being said, let's hear what Dino had to say to me. You're going to hear my question and his answer following the 6-2 start. Coach, obviously this is something that takes time. It's not just this season. It's when you first came in, going through 4 and 8 back-to-back, getting to where you are now. You said there's unfinished business, obviously, but just what you can say about staying the course and seeing where this team is at this point from where you started.
This is all culture. I mean, it starts with academically making sure that they do the things they need to do in the classroom, and they get the necessary things that they need to be successful. And our administration does a fabulous job with the tutors and Tommy Powell and John Wellhack in giving these young men the things they need to be successful academically. After that, the strength and conditioning program, to be able to play that many plays at that level, at that speed, the job that Sean Ettinger and his group does is amazing. Now, I will tell you, I did have words with him because we had 2 guys go out with hamstrings, and that's a no-no in our program. But that just tells me that they were underhydrated, which means we need to do a better job with hydration. And then to see that senior class lead, how about Eric Dungy being challenged all week? And, he's like Seabiscuit. You don't have to whip him. You just got to show him the whip. You guys got to watch the movie if you know what that means. You don't hit him, just show him the whip and watch him go. And just an amazing, amazing game. But I will tell you this, the whole week of practice, the practice week with DeVito and Dungy was amazing. I've never seen two archers perform at such a high level the entire week with their competition. It was really, really something. The offense this week was absolutely smoking in practice. If it was a racing car, the tires were seen going around the curve. There was noises being made, and people were pushing the envelope. And they did that. They did it that way in practice, and they did it that way in the game.
That coming once again from Dino Babers to start off the show. You just heard from Dino Babers, the head coach of the Syracuse Orange, in his third season with the team, following the 6-2 start to the team. I had an opportunity to speak with him about that, and you heard his direct response to that question that I posed to him about staying the course, believing in it. He came in, there's been some adversity, and now the team is bowl eligible. Staying in Syracuse, the football team is ranked in the top 25. Well, the Syracuse Stallions, after just one game, are also ranked in the top 25. And for the first time ever, I feel honored and privileged to have the team on the show. We've had many times Mike Sugamosto on the broadcast to speak on the team, but now I have the opportunity to talk with the players and the representation on the court of the Syracuse Stallions. We have a trio today with Chris Gilkes, Lloyd Parkmond, and DaJuan Coleman, and we're starting off with Chris live on the line today. Chris, how we doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me today, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing very well, and I appreciate the time. And Chris, I kind of want to go back to the beginning with you and just, what made you want to try out for this team? What made this an opportunity that you wanted to take?
I played college ball, played high school ball, and I just missed that team chemistry, that team atmosphere, doing something I love to do. And when the opportunity came here that they were bringing the ABA team here, I was like, why not go for it? And I went for it, and I ended up making the team. And now, anything can happen now. So I'm just honored that I was able to make the team and that they were able to bring a team here, because we do have a lot of talent here, and now we get to showcase that.
And when you look at the talent that Syracuse has here, bring me into that first game and just, your takeaways from the game itself, just what you saw from this team. Did you really feel like, I know it's only game one, I know you guys are getting your feet wet in the first ever season, but what did the game feel like? What did the chemistry feel like in that 121-111 win against Oneonta?
The game felt good. Like you said, it was our first game. I had to get a little of the jitters out, get our feet wet a little bit. But I think throughout the game, you saw spurts of us playing really well, and showed that the potential that we can really be a great team. And I just can't wait to keep playing, more and more. And, within probably week 5, 6, we'll be really hitting the fan and rolling. I can't wait to see that final product, because I feel like we're going to be really good. So.
And when you look at, the score of this game, you guys took 102 shots in the game. You took 38 three-pointers. I mean, obviously, speaking with Mike Sugamosto, he said, listen, the ABA is about scoring. It's about, seeing those games that are going to get up pretty high. Just what you could say about the amount of shots the team takes, and you guys were just under 50%, just the offensive side of the ABA, and how people are not – it's not going to be a game where they're going to struggle to see some scoring.
No, it's not. We do have a lot of shooters, a lot of scorers on our team, and probably around the ABA, it is predicated to be, offensively, and it, like it to be entertaining for the fans and stuff like that. So, I think we have a lot of offensive power, different type of weapons from different type of players, and I feel like we're going to utilize each person's talents to put points on the board. And even though I know it's offensively, we're going to try to, knuckle down on defense, so we don't let people score as much as they want on us, but we can still score as much as we want on them, so.
And what can you say about, the defense? I mean, you won the game 121-111. Did you feel like, the team hunkered down at the end of the game? What can you say defensively as you get your feet wet in the season? Was there some nice defensive plays despite the high score? Do you think that you did shut down Oneonta in certain places when you needed to?
Well, I feel like we still have a couple areas to work on defensively, but like when we needed to get the stops, we did, and we just got to keep that mentality to play defense all the way throughout the 4 quarters, and I know we will. And once we do that, I feel like our defensive scoring will cut that down as well. We won't let people score as much on us.
What do you love about the opportunity? I mean, what do you, when you're playing for the Stallions, you're at Manlius Pebble Hill. I know that we talked about why you got in the first place, but hindsight being 2020, you got the jersey on, you're on the team now, you played a game. What do you love about this? What could this opportunity bring to you?
I just love being back on the team. Being able to go for a goal. Our goal is to win this championship. Get to St. Louis. Even though it's our first year, that's our goal. That's our goal. That's what we're aiming for. And it's just good to be able to, strive for that again. To be able to have fans to play for, communities to play for, have people, come support us, have people to want to support us and play good for them. So just having that back in my life and being able to show that and have that feel back in my life is what I really appreciate about this team. And the people I'm playing with, the group I'm playing with, the coaches, we're all unselfish players. We have a good chemistry already. We haven't been together for too long. And I'm just excited about seeing how great we can really be. So that's why, I'm happy that this team came here, and I'm happy I'm on it.
And, just with this team being here, some of your teammates, as you gel, as you get closer, what can you say about the makeup of this team, the guys on this team? How would you describe kind of the environment and the players that you have?
I would say I feel like we're unique. We have a good level-headed players. Everyone talented, and everyone have a different ability to their talents. And I feel like we all play together. We're starting to figure out what we all like to do, and once we just keep playing together and get our feet wet more together, I feel like we'll be unstoppable. Like, our talent is really good, and I don't see a problem in us meshing our talent together. It's just going to make us even better.
And then what's kind of like the X factor for you, Chris? Speaking here with Chris Gilkes of the Syracuse Stallions, what makes you special? What makes you a key piece to this team?
My heart. I love playing for my team. I love playing, for the Stallions. I love playing basketball. I'll do anything for any of my teammates. I'm selfish, intensity. I love bringing that energy. So I feel like, I try to do it all. I try to play defense, offense, pass, everything. I try to be a leader in its own sense as well. I don't try to do too much. I play my role. I let the game come to me, and I feel like that's what I provide. I don't try to do too much. I just let the game come to me. I play hard every minute I'm on the floor. I don't give up, and so that's what I would say about myself.
And finally, why should fans come out? Why should they come see this? Pro basketball's back in Syracuse. Why should they make the trip out to see you guys at Manlius Pebble Hill? Or, if you're on the road, because obviously the teams that you're playing up against, teams like Rochester and Scranton and Elmira and Binghamton, not too far away. Why should people come out and see you guys play?
Because we're gonna be good, and I feel like we're gonna be able to show the fans. We're gonna be able to entertain the fans, and I feel like if they came out and supported us, they wouldn't be disappointed. We're trying to, like I said, we're aiming for St. Louis. We're aiming to get to that championship game, and we won't stop that. No matter what route we got to take, we're going to get there. That's our goal. That's our mission. And I feel like the fans will not. The fans will. I gotta say this. The fans will appreciate how hard we're going to work and how hard we play each and every game to make sure we achieve that goal. So if they came out, they would see how hard we're working and how much we appreciate them for coming out.
That coming from Chris Gilkes of the Syracuse Stallions. Come out and see them and support them, and they will show you how much they appreciate you by their play on the court and by their treatment of the community. Chris, I know it's the first time you've been on the show, but I thank you so much for being a part of it, and I really look forward to the opportunity of having you back on, and obviously hoping the best as you guys continue forward and continue to make history in Syracuse.
Thank you so much for having me, man. I appreciate you.
All right, man. Happy Halloween. I'll talk with you soon.
Happy Halloween.
All right, take care. That coming from Chris Gilkes once again. We'll take a step aside here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora in the Halloween special, and we will come back in just a moment with Lloyd Parkmond of the Syracuse Stallions.
This is a wake-up call fast break.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. He kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
Utica Pizza Company spells family. Your family, my family, their family. The recipes that they have shared with each other throughout the years and have now been so gracious to share them with us. I can sit here and talk with you about all the great things that are on the menu, but we'd be here forever. So let me say this. Utica Pizza Company is second to none. And now you can bring it home with you and you can dine in the restaurant. UticaPizzaCompany.com will give you all the information that you need. And let me say, these Utica greens, they're the best. Utica Pizza Company. Call them and place your order at 315-214-3060. That's 315-214-3060. Families break bread at Utica Pizza Company.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. It's an honor and a privilege to be here with you every Monday through Friday. You know when to listen, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Sometimes we go over. That's because we love you, and we want to bring you whatever we can. So, under promise, over deliver. That's what you got to do. Here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, I thank you for being a part of the community and supporting the local businesses in the community. You can check out who supports Wake Up Call by going to wakeupcalldt.com. One of those businesses is the Syracuse Stallions, supportive of us and partnering with us in their first year, their inaugural season of bringing professional basketball back to the city of Syracuse and central and upstate New York. And it is my honor and my privilege to have representation situation of that team on the show here with you throughout the months and throughout their first season. Mike Sugamosto has been no stranger to the show. You just heard from Chris Gilkes, and now for the first time ever, I have Lloyd Parkmond on the show to speak with us on his experience in this first game with the Syracuse Stallions. They're ranked in the top 25. They won their inaugural game. Pro basketball is back. We have a lot to discuss, so let's get him on the air. Lloyd, how are we doing today?
Good. How you doing? Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And Lloyd, first and foremost, bring me into the opportunity. How did it happen? How did you and the Stallions connect in the first place?
Well, initially, I saw some posts online for the tryouts on Facebook, and at the time, I was a little weary about it. I spent the previous year and a half not playing really, and basically just in some men's leagues. And Mike Sugamosto wrote me on Facebook one day, asking how I've been, asking, what I'm up to, and that he'd like if I gave it a shot at tryouts. And I gave it some thought, and I got to it. I got in the gym, and I got back at it, and I went to the first tryout, and I felt good about it. It felt amazing to be back into the basketball shape and back in the routine. And after that first tryout, I signed up for the next two, and it's kind of where it all started.
And so, when he reached out to you, you were kind of leery about it, but he said, "Hey, come out, give it a chance." What did that mean to you that Mike Sugamosto sought you out and really wanted you to give it a chance, give it a go, just kind of see what you have?
That just showed that he believed in me. That even though I had spent X amount of time away from the court competitively, that he still had some sort of belief within me and my skills on the court. So that goes a long way with me.
So you go to the tryouts, you get out there, you see how things are going. Bring me into the tryouts, bring me into the opportunity that you had in these tryouts and just what it was like. What was the experience like? Was it what you expected? Was it better than you expected? Just bring me into that.
It was definitely what I expected. It was fast-paced. It was organized and structured. I was nervous. I hadn't, at the time I wasn't really out there that much, like I said, competitively. But, as the tryout went on, I started to get a little bit more relaxed. And we got some drills, got warmed up, and then we did quite a bit of scrimmaging, got up and down the floor a lot. And, at that point is when I kind of started to get settled in and get comfortable with the situation. It was a highly competitive tryouts. The whole process was highly competitive. Everybody brought their energy and their A game, every day, every play. So it was definitely challenging to get through, to say the least.
Who are some of the guys that are on the team that challenged you the most in these tryouts as you got ready for seeing if you're going to make the team first and foremost, and then getting into the season now? Who are some of the guys that you feel have pushed you?
Two guys really stick out in my head a lot, and that would be Jamel Stanley and Chris Gilkes. Jamel he's a phenomenal athlete, phenomenal player and person. They both are. But Jamel, we play kind of the same position, similar styles, and he's definitely stuck out in the first couple of minutes of me seeing him play. So I definitely wanted to guard him. And then Chris has always been a good player. I've known Chris. I played against him in a couple of leagues around the Syracuse area, and we've had our battles on the court. So it was nothing new. We knew what was going to happen once we both got on that court against each other, and but it worked out. We definitely pushed each other in a positive way, both verbally and physically on the floor. So.
And when you look at, speaking here with Lloyd Parkmond of the Syracuse Stallions, when you're out there and you're practicing with this team and you're getting ready for the season and it's becoming more and more of a reality, just as you got closer and closer and this opportunity became more and more real to you, just what it meant to you, like you said, because you hadn't been out there, you hadn't really put yourself out there in a while. As you got closer and closer, did it start to feel like, it was second nature? Did it all kind of come back to you? Did it take a little while? What can you say about, reestablishing yourself on the court?
It definitely took a little bit as far as establishing myself within this team after the team had already been made and like practices and all that. I feel like it took a little bit for myself to establish my role and how I play and let the other guys see how I play. They and I see how they play. But it's all a process. It's all a tough process that we all have to go through, getting adjusted, getting to know each other on the court and off the court. But that process is something we all enjoy, something I enjoy. It's just like another basketball year, just at a different level, higher competition, and it's exciting. All in all, it's exciting to get those nerves back. Just to be back on the floor and to play with a great group of guys. I got my love back. I love basketball so much. It's just like, I had a piece missing for the longest time, and I have that back. And that gives me a ton of energy and will day in and day out to, get better and improve myself.
And speaking here with Lloyd Parkmond, before I let you go, Lloyd, getting back in there, like you said, getting the nerves. You just played your first game. The team won their inaugural game, 121-111 against Oneonta. Bring me into the game and, having those nerves and finally getting back out on the court, just what it felt like, what the game was like, what the atmosphere was like in that first game and getting that win.
Well, the atmosphere was amazing. The fans were amazing. I definitely anticipated there being a good crowd, but they exceeded my expectations, and I'm sure they exceeded a lot of people within the organization, their expectations as well. The crowd was phenomenal. Leading up to the game, I was incredibly nervous. Once I got in the car, I had picked one of my teammates up. I picked Jamil up on the way. And once I got with him, for some reason, like the nerves kind of went away. And then I get around the guys a little bit more pre-game, and the nerves really went away. And we had plenty of time to warm up and, get adjusted. And, once the ball went up, I was ready. I was ready to go. Everybody on the team has been there and done that in multiple seasons, and I just, at that point, once the ball went up, I felt at ease. I felt good, but I'd be lying if I say once the crowd gets into it and we make a couple plays and they get all hype and antsy, I get a little nervous as well. But that's just part of the game. That's the beauty of it.
Do you love that, though? People talk about, they get those jitters, they get this and they get that, and they don't like it. I've always said, as a broadcaster and really as a voice out there in a lot of different ways, not just with sports broadcasting, but with a lot of things that, I go out and I do in my career, is that, they said if you're standing on the side of the stage, whether it's sitting in the studio or being on an actual stage, and you don't get a little bit of that, that fire, you don't get a little bit of that on your shoulders, a little bit of that feeling, then you're not doing something that you love, that you got to have those nerves, you got to have that feeling, because it means you care and it means you love it. Would you say that as well?
Oh, that's very accurate. That's basketball and many other things. There's a lot of emotion built into it and invested into it. So when those emotions come out, whether it be in the game and the crowd's, getting us up, and like I said, when the nerves really start flowing, that's, like I said, that's the beauty of it. That's how you truly love what you're doing, and it brings the most out of me. It brings out a different level of play when I get nervous. I don't fold. I soak it all up. Enjoy the moment.
That coming from Lloyd Parkmond. Lloyd, because it's Halloween, I got to ask you about this. Lloyd of the Syracuse Stallions. Favorite thing, or what do you do? What is the Halloween plan? Do you have any plans for Halloween?
I really don't. I don't know why I'm not particularly a Halloween person. I'll be on FaceTime with my daughter for most of the evening. She'll be all dressed up and out there. She actually lives in Florida, but I'll definitely enjoy it that way with her.
Now, do you know what she's going to be for Halloween?
She is dressed up as a fortune teller. Quite the outfit, let me tell you.
Now, was it bought? Was it made? What can you tell us about the outfit?
It was made from her mother's clothing. They spent no money on the outfit. It was all just some makeshift clothing they put together, a little bit of makeup, and nice little headscarf, and you got a fortune teller.
That's awesome. Well, I got to ask you this. So if you're not a big Halloween person, I got to ask you, if you're going to watch any scary movie, anyone at all, which one, could be Halloween related, could be something else. What movie are you watching if you're sitting at home tonight and saying, I got to throw something on? What are you throwing on?
Oh, a scary movie? Oh, I would have to go with Freddy Krueger. I like Freddy Krueger movies.
All right, so any one of those?
Oh, yeah, anyone. Yeah, Freddy's my man.
And since you're not dressing up, I will ask you this, though. If you could be any superhero, you could dress up as any hero or villain. Well, we'll throw that in there. Any hero or villain in the history of the world. Who would you be?
Any hero or... Ooh. I would probably be Superman. I want to fly. That would be amazing. I would definitely fly around and save a bunch of people.
All right, so fair enough. So Lloyd Parkmond as Superman. You could go see him, Superman on the court, Syracuse Stallions. Go to SyracuseStallions.com, get the info, purchase your tickets, go to the games at Manlius Pebble Hill. And the away games aren't that far, folks. They're playing teams all over upstate New York and the state of New York in general. They'll also be in very close areas in Maryland and Pennsylvania and whatnot. So make sure you go out there and show them some love. They're ranked nationally in the top 25. They won their first game, and they are pro basketball back in Syracuse. Lloyd, I know it's the first time on the show. Had a great time, though, and I'd love to have you back on the broadcast.
Thank you. Anytime. My pleasure.
All right, man. Be good and have fun with your daughter tonight. I hope that you at least for her maybe paint your face or do something. You got to give it back to her if she's going through all that work today.
Oh, I'll have to paint my nails. Won't be the first time, won't be the last.
Well, have a good time with her, and I'll talk with you soon.
All right, thank you.
Take care. That coming from Lloyd Parkmond once again here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and DaJuan Coleman is coming up in just a moment.
This is a wake-up call fast break.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or ice milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, Carvelanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happens.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. Always an honor and a privilege to be with you throughout the week and in special opportunities that we have, like when we will be hosting a live trivia. Coming back again, Wake Up Call Live Trivia will be every Tuesday downtown at the Press Room Pub, 220 Herald Place in historic Herald Square in downtown Syracuse, and that'll start at 7 p.m. on Tuesdays. And then, of course, a CNY Game Show night at the Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus on 3680 Milton Avenue. That happens every last Thursday of each month. And our interviews with West Genesee's teams, CNS's teams, and so much more. We love being out in the community, and I love being on the airwaves Monday through Friday with you. And I love the fact that pro basketball is back in Syracuse. And not only that, but a guy who I wanted to personally and professionally see back on the court. A story that I love, a guy who knows that I've respected him from day zero. This is someone who I appreciate, always love talking to, who has done a lot for my show, always given back to the community, given back to me, and I'm happy that he's back on the court, and that is the man, DaJuan Coleman. Day, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Now, DaJuan, we got to start there. You know, the question was, will we ever see DaJuan back on the court again? That question was answered with a yes. What does that moment mean to you, because you spent a couple years at Syracuse coming back from leg injuries. You got back out on the court. The team went to you went all the way to the Final Four in 2016, and then ultimately, those injuries nagged you again. Bring me into the get back and all of that stuff that happens behind the scenes to get you back on the court.
For me, I would say the get back was this summer. Well, let me backtrack. Maybe last year when I took my complete year off just to get healthy again. But then all the work really pretty much came in the summertime. When I was playing for the King of Kings, I just felt good, and that's when Mike was recruiting me to play for the Stallions, and we just made it happen pretty much. My body felt good, my mind was right, and we just made it happen.
Did you, coming back here? I mean, when you finished up at Syracuse, did you feel like this is it, this is over, or did you always feel like you would get another chance?
No, I didn't. I never really had that mindset. I went about it like, you know what? Let me take a year off to see how my body felt. So I did that. I took a year off. I felt pretty good. And in the back of my mind, I always wanted to play basketball because that's my first love. So I never really want to give up on basketball. And plus, I was never the person to give up on myself. You know what I mean? So I put my mind to it. I stayed in the weight room. I stayed in shape. Pretty much, I made it happen. That was the third time I did this. So that kind of put you where my mindset has always been. I knew it was going to be hard work to get back, and I sacrificed that, and I put in that work, and now I'm back once again, and I'm pretty much ready to play. So everything turned out pretty good so far. So.
All right, and that coming from DaJuan Coleman, and DaJuan, you're coming in a little bit low here. If we could higher it up so we can hear.
Sorry about that.
Oh no, that's okay. So just to maybe, I know you just spoke on the get back and everything, but if you could maybe just take us through that again so everybody could hear you here on that story.
All right. Yeah, so last year I decided to take a full year off just to get my body and my mind right. And when I took that year off, I was still in the weight room. I made sure I was still in shape. My mind was sharp, and pretty much I had a good summer. And this is my third time, coming back from an injury. So, and for me, how I took it is it's all mental. You know what I mean? You got to have a sharp mental when you're going through something like this. And I never was the one to quit on myself. So I knew it was going to be a lot of hard work to get back to where I needed to be. But I wanted to make that sacrifice, and that's what I did. And now I'm back playing again. Like I pretty much told myself I was going to do. So.
And when you have that, you talk about the mental side of it, that it's such a mental game. You can prepare as much as you want to prepare. You can know your teammates and their tendencies and have good chemistry and know the playbook and know the plays that you're running and the things that you're doing, and you can lift in the weight room and you can run. But ultimately, if your mind is not working for you and it's working against you, right. So bring me into that. The fact that the mental part of this game is the most important part of the game.
Yeah, the mental part is definitely the most important because and then going through an injury like how I have, and I did it 3 times before. Well, this last year was my 3rd time, so I know that you really have to lock in. You really have to lock in, and you really got to focus on what do you want. You know what I mean? And I felt like my main focus was just to get back, just to get healthy again, and that's what I thought about every day. Every day I wanted to make myself better, either if it was physical, mental, or spiritual. So I just wanted to make myself better, and I just really locked in. And it's just something you got to have in you. It's not for the weak-minded, but it's something you got to have in you because a lot of people quit, but I was never really that type of person. I really had to get it. I I pretty much had to put it in work. Whatever I wanted in life, I had to put it in work because that's just how I was brought up. Nothing was ever given; everything was earned. So.
And when you look at that, and like you said, nothing's ever given to you; it was all earned. What did that teach you? How did that help you to grow as a person and take care of yourself? I mean, I'm right there with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly that if you want something, you got to go out and get it yourself. I don't like people that want handouts and want somebody to do it for them. So bring me into your life and just being the person that says, if I want this, I have to go do it. I have to prepare for it. I have to get in the lab. Just to speak on that, because I have the utmost respect for that.
And you said, how did that prepare me for life?
Yeah. Just like how did you get to that point where you realize, what, I got to do this. If I want it, I got to go get it myself. And just to speak on how the adversity in your life prepared you for where you are.
Oh yeah. Just growing up in Syracuse, really growing up, I really didn't have much in Syracuse. So, like, whatever I wanted, like, I had to go get it, or I wasn't going to have it at all, period. And, a lot of people that's growing up in Syracuse, they pretty much understand what I'm talking about. So, just growing up as a kid, I just didn't really have much. And when I say I wanted something, I went and got it. Like when I told myself I wanted to be a McDonald's All-American, I wanted to play for Syracuse, I made it happen. A lot of people talk, but a lot of people don't make it happen. So, and plus, just everything I've been through, it just made me mentally tough. And just growing up in Syracuse just made me mentally tough too, because, like I said, I mean, nothing here is gonna be handed to you. You really gotta take it, or just take every opportunity that's given to you. You really have to take it and make something happen with it. So it pretty much prepared me for life, and I always had that mindset. And my goal is just to stay sharp, just keep going, and that's pretty much it.
When you speak on growing up in Syracuse, some people have different experiences, obviously, of growing up in Syracuse. What can you say about your experience and your challenges of growing up here?
Syracuse I feel like it's one of them gritty cities, just because of the weather. It's not really much to do besides Syracuse basketball around here. So a lot of people don't really have that motivation to get up and, go get it every day. But I found my lane, and I worked hard to get where I'm at, and I'm going to keep going, pretty much. But Syracuse is just one of them cities that's just, you either make it or you pretty much don't. I have a lot of friends and stuff that's not here with me today. Either if that's jail or locked up or dead. And you just gotta understand, like, when you want something in life, you just have to sacrifice something, and you just have to work hard and get it. So.
And speaking here with DaJuan Coleman, and DaJuan, before we wrap up here, just what you can say about that. Like you said, some of your friends are no longer with us, or some of them are locked up. I mean, what did that do to you? What has that done to build you? What has that done to remind you of your mission and what you want in life, to see that, people that you care about and that you love that have been around you have unfortunately, they're not with us, or they're in situations that are undesirable right now?
Yeah, for me, I just gotta, stay on track and just keep my mind on the end goal, and just pretty much do it for them. Like my friend Chi that passed away. I still try to keep his name alive because I wear his number 44 jersey. That's one thing that I'm proud of, that pretty much happened to me this weekend when I first stepped on the court, and I'm honoring my friend Rasheed Baker with his number. And just like little stuff like that, I just gotta keep their name alive, and I'm not just doing it for me. You know what I mean? I'm doing it for you know, the guys that's not here, the little kids in the inner city that's looking up to me. I'm doing it for the whole city of Syracuse, and I just want to show everybody that, you know, a person like me ain't gonna quit. And if I can make it, you could definitely make it, because I've pretty much been through the same circumstances as a lot of kids that's out here right now, and if I could do it, then they could definitely do it. And that's what I try to preach to the kids when I'm going to go talk to them at these schools every day, and just let them see the bigger picture. So.
And coming from DaJuan Coleman, seeing the bigger picture and doing things the right way and believing in your dreams. And obviously, like you said, you stepped on the court with number 44 for your friend. And just, you know, to be back out on the court, to be back playing, to be back for a third time from injury, and to be representing something that's bigger than yourself with the relationship with your friend, just what that moment felt like for you.
It was great. You know, like I said, you know, I just been putting in hours, a lot of hours, just to get back to that moment again. And I finally got back to that moment, and I just want to keep it going. I just want to work hard, and I don't want it to be taken away from me again. So whatever I could do to keep it going, that's what I'm gonna do. And like I said, just stepping on that court for the first time again in a couple of years, just to play. Got my friend sheet number on. We had a good turnout. A lot of fans came out to see us play. Everything just felt good that night, and we just want to keep it going. This is the first time a pro team is in Syracuse. We just want to take advantage, and whoever's listening out here, if you guys want to come out and show support for this weekend, we greatly appreciate it, and we just want to keep it going.
That coming from DaJuan Coleman. Come out and show support and make your way over to the Syracuse Stallions. Manlius Pebble Hill is where they play. You could also see them locally in upstate New York and around the surrounding areas, even on away games. DaJuan, as always, I appreciate you. We know Syracuse fans travel well, and we know they show out, so make sure you go to these games, buy your tickets at SyracuseStallions.com. And DaJuan, as always, I appreciate you and respect the heck out of you, so thanks for being here.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
All right, take care.